Hey, and this is a new month. Ooh. New episode of Girl, I Guess. Hey, I'm Karen, aka KC.
And I am Ming Lee, and welcome to Girl, I Guess.
Well, happy June.
Happy Pride Month.
Yes, I'm excited. This is like, for me, this is my first Pride Month that I felt like, even though I'm not like in the community, I felt excited for the community and have a better understanding, especially with like a lot of the content that's on TV, friends, programming, organizations. So I have this new thing I've been doing. Depending on the month, you see how like we care about Black History Month and we want other people to care? So now I'm taking initiatives with months as they come, depending on what it is, whatever national it is, to get an understanding of what it is. It may be a documentary and also donating towards the cause. Not like the super big one, but something that's like grassroots, doing the work. So this month I donated to the Trevor Project.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is a Los Angeles organization that helps with the LGBTQ community with suicide prevention and different things like that. And I'm excited. And then Kaylin Allen, who is on the Ellen Show, he put out a Pride t-shirt. So I just bought a few for my friends because the proceeds for that too goes back to the Trevor Project. So I was like, that's double.
Yeah, okay. I need to donate to the Trevor Project too. I'll do it when I get off the show. But you know, I'm like in the beauty community, and so like I'm infused in the community, and I love it. Yeah, like they dress, I just love it. And so that's why I was telling you off air. I was telling her that I wanted to go to a gay club, and because the last time I went, when I tell you I've never danced that hard in my life, that I literally sweated out my hair and my shirt was sticking to my back. I've never like literally danced to so many Beyonce songs, and I had the time of my life. The drinks was good. It was like the funnest time I've ever had. So I know, and you know, I live in Atlanta. So like we have like, you know, one of my best friends, he's gay. So like he always invites me to the clubs. And recently I haven't been able to go, but this month I know it's going to be off the chain. So we definitely have to go to one good night with our dancing shoes on. And get down with the girls.
So I'm going to go to the club with you, but I want to go to, like, I've had these fascinations with balls, just from watching Pose to just watching videos online and stuff like that, where I just want to go to, like, a ball. I want to just...
Ooh, that would be nice.
I want to just see... Just see the community as they do like their thing. Just sit back and enjoy myself. Maybe, you know, pick up some moves on how to hit some stuff. You never know.
You never know.
But yeah, so let's do our normal. What's the catch up? We just came back from Miami.
Yes, we went to the fight.
So shout out to Mayweather Promotions.
Yes, thank you.
They had us come to the fight. They gave us tickets. It was an experience.
It was
an experience.
So Karen didn't quite understand that it wasn't like a real fight.
I didn't.
And so I was trying, she was like, well, why is it so short? I said, because it's an exhibition and the guy, his opponent is not a real boxer. So there's no way he can last 8 minutes or 10 minutes for 12 rounds.
I was Snapchatting for like 10 minutes. I looked up and I swear I felt like the fight was over.
I was like, it's about to be done. It was 3 minutes, but it was nice.
I guess it just happened so fast. It felt like we got there, sat down.
You was there to be social.
This is true. Because I was walking around mingling, talking to people. Because to me, it just happened. It happened so fast. I was like, oh, that's it? And you're like, yeah, it's over. I told you it was going to be over.
I told you it was going to be fast. Fights are like weddings.
Yeah, see, I
quick
didn't
and fast and to the point.
When it was halfway and you're like, it's almost done. I looked up, I said, no, it's not. It just started. I was like, this is like round one. You're like, girl, no, we're halfway through already. Pay attention.
And then we made the silly mistake of wearing heels to the stadium. So we had to walk on all that concrete all the way down to the floor seats, which I'll never do again.
I was just dressed inappropriately, period, for Miami, for the humid air. I just like wore like a short evening dress with these really nice heels that I've been like, you know what COVID did to us. I ain't wear these in a minute. I had them in the box. I said, okay, I'm excited, finally get to wear these heels. I didn't really get much time to practice in them. That walk, baby, my feet was hurting like the next day. I could have wore flip-flops and shorts.
You wore heels to the club. After going to see that fight, my feet was hurting so bad. I wore slides to the club.
Because the only thing I had, I did the military pack where I just brought just enough because I like tried to plan it out, but I didn't plan it out correctly. So I didn't have enough for the club afterwards. So I had to make what I had shake. So I wore the heels that didn't hurt as much. So those were okay.
You look cute though.
Thank you. And I'm gonna be transparent. People are like, yo, where's the pictures? I was like, I'm not putting up no pictures because I ain't really like the way my pictures was coming out. I'm running my outfit back again.
Ooh, it was a good outfit.
Yeah, I had 2 really good outfits. So, somebody was like, oh, how come you didn't post your pictures? Let me see your outfit. I was like, no, I'm about to wear this again.
Somebody created a fake page to DM me and said like, oh, wow, I was just expecting so much more of you for your fight outfit. I was like, really? From me? Love you too, boo.
What was you supposed to give?
I don't know. I felt overdressed. It was like, what I realized is that, because I'm going to go to the Gervonta Davis fight, and I'm for sure not wearing heels. I'm for sure giving some type of flat boot, sneaker, fly, like, little vibe.
Okay, so is that one an exhibition or a fight?
That's a fight. That's a real fight. And I went to his fight 2019 December, and it was lit. Like, well, and like Atlanta played like a little bit of a different game because now it's full capacity in Atlanta. So that fight is going to be
okay.
It's going to be a movie.
I might come to that.
Come.
Saki, you know me. I'm be social. I'll be social, walk around. Hey, y'all. Who's he fighting?
See?
Even if you said the name, I'd sit here like, oh, yeah.
See? I'm just going because it's a social event. I know absolutely nothing about boxing.
But he is signed to Mayweather.
I believe so.
Okay.
I know he's really, really good.
Yeah, he might be. I think he is signed to Mayweather Promotions. He might be.
I think so.
Yeah. Don't quote us, man.
I know he's good, and he be knocking people out. That's what I know. I know he is a bomb ass fighter, and I know he be knocking people out. That's it.
But nonetheless, the weekend was cool. It was nice to have a getaway because I haven't seen. My family lives in Miami, so usually when I go, I love my family, but I got to do them in spurts. You know me. I got to do these.
I got one of them type of families too.
Yeah, I got to do them in spurts. And my aunt get mad at me because she has 3 kids, right? And like if I come in town, I take one at a time. And she be like, well, what about? And I'm always with her son. So Victor's usually with me. He go to because I'm usually with guys. So like he'll go to strip club. It just makes more sense. So for the fight, I brought my cousin Becky, right? So
who I love.
Shout out to Rebecca. So Becky is like, she's working on her makeup and she's like transitioning. So COVID was a little bit hard for her because she was in college. She was working on her last year and then COVID hit. And then, she was just going through it. So she decided to transition. She was like, I want to get in the beauty space. I want to do XYZ. So her wanting to do that, I'm like, you know what? It makes sense for you to be with me this weekend because Ming's going to be here. She's in the beauty space. You can move around with me. She hasn't done anyone's makeup before, so she did my makeup.
And she did so good that I'm going to use her when I go back for July the 4th.
Thank you. I love that family support. Thank you. So it just was good. My aunt texted me like, what about Victor? I said, what about him? I can only do one child at a time. I said, I love you, Victor, but I needed to spend time
with Becky.
Yeah, I'm trying to the balance of, because technically I'm still working and it's hard to explain to people because when they see you out there, like, that's not work. I'm like, technically it is. And I can't give you the attention you need. And so that's why I try to just limit who I bring with me because I can't, pay attention and support you and make sure you're good and XYZ. So it was nice to have her with us this weekend. She has so much fun. She was like, thank you so much, because I never really get to spend time with her.
Oh yeah, I had a time of my life. Now let me explain something to y'all. So I landed in Miami, 12:30, 1 o'clock p.m. I went into makeup, came to Karen's hotel. We got dressed. We went to the fight. After the fight, I took like an hour nap. Karen went to go change her clothes. And then we go to the club, and Karen was like, okay, I'm finna go get me some sleep. I said, not me. I packed my stuff. I put it right back in the car. And I was like, I'm going to keep the driver until it's time for me to go to the airport, because my flight was leaving at 7 a.m.
We got back in time to film. We had to make sure, we got back to film the podcast from our comfortable abode. But so much has been happening.
We're going to have a new set soon, right?
Yes. Yes. I can't wait. It's in a couple of weeks.
So we've officially been doing this almost 6 months. Can you believe that?
It's about to be our anniversary.
What episode is this?
19.
I
wonder what the network is going to get us. Oprah be getting her team cars. I'm going to just say that. I don't know if it's true or not.
Just going to put it out there on Front Street.
Like, get us. I don't really want a cake. Get that ourselves,
I'll take some good perfume. I like Bond, if you're listening.
Ian. Because we ask over here. You know what I had to ask you?
What?
Oh my gosh. Where's my phone? I saw this and I said, ooh, I can't wait. I saved it so I could read it to you today. I said, I can't wait to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
Because I know you love Kristen Cavallari.
I do.
Okay. So, I kind of trailed off for her after like Laguna Beach in the hills a bit. I know she was like married, doing well, and all the other stuff.
I was married to that guy who played for the Chicago Bears.
Okay. So Jay Cutler, I'm assuming that's him.
That's him.
So Jay Cutler this is from Say Cheese TV. So Jay Cutler has $130 million in the bank, got his wife to sign a prenup, and then I guess she's filing for divorce, citing he's lazy and he only plays with the kids and animals. She only wanted $5 million from the divorce. He decided to freeze his bank accounts, and now Jay Cutler wants half of her brand because she built it while they were together.
Okay, so if I'm Kristen Cavallari, right? So then that means that we are throwing the prenup out the window, right? So anything that you've earned while we were married, which I'm assuming is more than the $15 million that her company's made, because now you're saying that you want money that was earned, that I made during our marriage. Cool, because now I want money that you made during our marriage. So if we're going to take, my 15 to your 60, let's just do,
Yeah.
60 million. And you want to bust it down the middle, then let's do it. Or else you can go to hell. That just sounds so like...
Yeah, he's probably mad she wants the divorce. One is, I did a little like research. He did not put any of his money into her company, she says. So basically she built it herself. She has stores and different things like that. And then the second thing is, I knew you would say that. So... how does it work? Say he has a deal with Ford Motors, right? And it was a deal he got before her, but he renegotiates his contract. Would you still think she gets a piece of that, or is that still considered the contract from prior before her? Because a lot of his things I feel like may have been on autopilot.
So I think it all depends on, like, every contract is different, right? So I think it just really all depends on like how the contract is structured. But most of the time, the prenup protects your assets and your money earned before your marriage. Any money that you're earning during your marriage, from just like, I think a standard prenup is fair game. But for you to have 130 million, 115 million, or how many hundreds of millions of dollars, and she's only asking you for $5 million, I think like you're getting away with murder. Because like if you look at it like, when Jeff Bezos got divorced, it was billions. When even when
I think she got half.
Yeah, she got half. When Michael Jordan's wife got divorced, it was half.
Yeah,
like she's asking for maybe what 3%.
That doesn't
5%.
include like if he does his normal child support things. I think given with her and everything, that was fair. She was like, I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm trying to move on, and I hope they figure that out.
Would you sign a prenup?
Depends on the circumstance, but I might. Depends on the circumstance. I might though.
I would. I would create one though too.
Yeah,
I'm just a black and white kind of girl, like, but also me personally, like, I don't want anything that's really just not mine, but you not gonna shortchange me.
Yeah,
right. Because like sometimes I hear moms say like, "Oh, I don't get any child support." And sometimes, you don't have to get child support because sometimes the dad just does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys in a lot of different situations does it based on, you know what I mean, how they feel about y'all's situation, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to be doing all this stuff for the kid because me and you are cool or I'm not dating nobody, and then when I want to decide to date, now I got to fucking look for you like with a flashlight in the daytime.
Yeah, or you get a significant other.
Yeah, it's like...
And those emotions make people act very different with things. And I think that's what's happening with this Jay situation. So even with prenups, it gets weird where people are like, okay, if... I've seen some random prenups where they're like, if you cheat a certain amount, I get this much, I get that much. I'm like... I don't think I want my prenups based on that. I want it to be more focused on what I brought in, like you said, to cover my assets, what I bring in, what's important to me, what I leave with, if we have children, if we've built something together.
But a lot of people do that because of like, say for instance, if you marry a guy, right? And he's like, oh, Karen Civil, I don't want you to work anymore, right? I want you to strictly just raise our kids and not work and like give up everything that you know and love and like be my wife. And so I think like some wives put that in a stipulation because that could ultimately diffuse the marriage. So if you are going to be out here cheating and embarrassing me, I need to be compensated. And some wives probably feel like it should be a big deal because you ain't got no fucking business cheating no way. So if you don't cheat, you won't never have to pay me $250,000 like extra. Because
how they explain that to their accountant when they see like, oh, W-2, FICA, cheating tax, $500,000. They're like, oh, it's a write-off. It's interesting nonetheless, but new seasons of Sisters on BET.
Oh my goodness. That show is so good. It's like, I'm a scripted show watcher. Like I love, I'm not a fan of reality TV that much as I am a scripted. I love a good storyline and I love me some drama. Just in case nobody has watched the premiere of season 3, let's just talk about the recap of season 2
of the final episode. So season 3 episode came on last night. Yes, it came on last night. And interesting enough, like our listeners are our sisters. So we're going to have this sister talk because from the last episode from season 2, when I say bitch, it was, I was like FaceTiming you like, girl, what? I was like, what is going on here?
So that was my question, right? I had a few questions, but I wanted to get your opinion. And I kind of like started to ask you in the room, but I was like, I'm going to save it for the podcast. My question was about like dating a friend's ex, right? And how do you feel about that? And like, what is your take on it?
So when it comes to a friend's ex, it's just hands off. I don't care. I know people are different how they move, particularly for me. I don't care if this was your boyfriend in the first grade. I just don't. I'm okay with it. I find a whole other situation, whatever it is, I'm just hands off. I just don't.
Okay, for my take on it, I'm the same way. But I also had to, like, when I became back single, I had to realize, like, okay, I'm playing devil's advocate, right?
Not talk to like your boyfriend.
Okay.
You see, that's where it gets different.
That's where it gets different.
That's where it gets tricky because being in this, a lot of like, I've had friends that I'm cool with. You talk
to everybody. Like, you can't cancel out the world. Like,
yeah, that's where it gets tricky.
Pick your favorite 3 that you done talk to. So I'm with you. If it's your actual real boyfriend, ex-husband, we can even do baby daddy off limits, right?
Absolutely. Now, baby daddy, absolutely off limits.
We can do baby daddy, boyfriend, husband, ex-husband, fiance, off limits, right?
Ex-fiance, off limits.
Okay. But I was saying, like, like, as far as like some of my like friend associates, I'm like, girl, you dated everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, we just can't cancel out all the good ones. Like, you gotta pick your favorite.
Where it gets messy,
you get 3 though.
See, the thing is, where it gets messy is when it doesn't have transparency and you don't have honesty within your community as sisters. So, it's just like, for instance, I'll go to a guy's page, right? I'm like, okay, I'll scroll. I'm like, okay, he's cute. Then I'll see somebody I know if they may like it. You know what I do? I'll be transparent. I DM them. I'll be like, this you?
I had one of my homegirls do that. Text me.
Listen, if I scroll through and I see they like 3 to 5 pictures, I'm like, okay, they must know them. So I'm like, listen, is this you? When I capitalize YOU ? Because when I say is this you, not like, oh, we kind of know each other, we went on a date once. Nah,
is this one of 3?
Yeah, is this one of? I'll give people a grace period. I'll give you a lineup like basketball. I'll give you your starting 5.
So you get 1 of 5.
Yeah, I'll give people a starting 5. I'm like, because if this is you, I'ma relax. And then certain people like, oh nah, I'm shopping like you are. I'm looking like you are. So I'm like, okay.
I had one of my homegirls. She like, she hit me up and she was like, I see y'all follow each other. And so I'm thinking in my mind, okay. She was like, so what happened? Like, did y'all date? Or I'm like, I've never even met this man in my life. I'm like, we just follow each other. I've never seen him in person.
But you know what? I like that she asked.
I'm like, girl, go for it. Looks like a good catch to me.
It's transparency. Conversations like that never bother me. It's only one person, I'm super protective of. It's just like the one person. If people will reach out.
How many people do you got on your off limits list?
2. 2. 2. Yeah. Right now it's
2.
Yeah, it's 2. It's really 1. And the one thing that I really love about this person is they're off limits, but they don't even want to be on limits. Like if people try to DM them or like whatever, he's just so in his own world. And I'm like, God, thank you, Lord. He don't really care about all of that. Because he's focused on like his craft and like what he has going on.
I don't know if I got anybody off limits.
You're like, free reign.
Maybe my current boyfriend, but other than
that would be nice.
I mean, my current boyfriend, that's a given. He's actually my boyfriend. But not my baby daddy. That's a free fall. All my exes are really like, girl, good luck.
You know what's crazy? Even like, I get offended, which is just like, I don't know if other girls do this. I get offended for my friend.
Okay, so that was my question, right? I never even got to the question. Okay. What if you have, just like on the finale, she had 2 of her friends dating the same guy? Well,
it technically wasn't her friend. It was an associate. She works for her, right? So she works for her. She works in her office, and they just started becoming cool and friends and things like that. She didn't know, though. This is where it gets tricky. She didn't know that was her boss's best friend's ex. He knew, though, and he didn't divulge the information or anything like that. He knew what he was doing because he was double dipping, still sleeping with the ex and being with her, knowing that she works in the ex best friend's office.
But he didn't know that she worked there.
No, he did.
Oh.
He did. He was moving nasty. He knew what was going on. He just didn't think, men. Yeah, he just didn't know that they would be in the supermarket and come up, and it's just the way that karma work.
Okay, but still answer the question. So if you got two friends dating the same guy, what's your position on it?
Okay, we got to make sure we're using the right terms.
They're both your friends.
No, not that. What do you mean by dating? They're in a relationship?
No, there's no relationship. Like a lot of people, like they dating. Like,
okay, now then this is where it starts to get to tears. It depends. No, because it's like I'm trying to do the hypothetical, but it's just like
it's hypothetical.
I know, but each circumstance has a circumstance.
Okay, so let me lay it out.
I know folks are like, bitch, just answer the question.
Just answer the fucking question.
All right, say two of my homegirls is talking to an athlete. I'm gonna mind my fucking business because it's just he's probably dragging it the fuck out. Like he's dragging it, whatever. But now if they come to me like, oh, I'm in love, he's the best, I'm like,
So I had this happen to me and I lost we fell out like really bad. So for instance, so it was a guy I was just dating, right? And his homeboy has started talking to I was doing hair at the time. So his homeboy was talking to one of my clients, right? And she was like a really good client of mine, like really, really good. Like came, got her hair done every week. And like we were like client friends. And if you're in like the service industry, you know exactly what I mean when I say like a client friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were friends because she was like my client and she came into the salon a lot. And sometimes we would go out to eat or, you know what I mean?
You know what I call you guys adjacent therapists. Because once you sit in the chair, it's like therapy where you open up, you have conversation. Because you're doing all this to the hair. It's like really important. Folks is touching your follicles.
Right.
You get to relax. And everything else. You're like a therapist.
So, of course, since I am the therapist, I know how deep and intense their relationship is, right? So, the guy, he ends up coming up to the hair salon one day. Like, him and the guy I was dating came up there to, like, bring some food. And so, like, he ended up meeting one of my coworkers. Now, me and a coworker, we are, like, coworker friends. Like, we're only friends because, like, we're coworkers. So, she started talking to the guy, right? So I just decided to mind my own business, right? So I didn't say anything, but I did say something to him. So I was like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, you cutting it kind of close because like, even though those two girls, they aren't friends, I'm like, they be in the same building. This girl come up here and get her hair done every single week. This girl does makeup, like, yo, you tripping, you wilding, right? So, of course, he's feeding me like, man, like, I'm like, you know what I mean? We single. So the client, she ends up finding out. Ooh, she read me for filth.
See, this is what... She was more mad at you than him?
Well, she was mad at him, too. But she stopped... She, like, blocked me on social media.
Who was she mad at first?
She was mad at him. And then she got mad at me. But I don't know if him and her ever started back really like talking because I ain't want nothing to do with this situation. But she like cussed me out and I was just like, what I was telling her is like, like for me to tell you, like I would have had to like, the only way for me to do it, which I should have just group text everybody. Because that's my thing.
You love a good group text.
I am a group texter. Like, so what was said, how about let's just get all parties involved on one thread. And so like I just wanted to ask you that. So also in the season finale, he, like first of all, I didn't like how he didn't want to talk about, he didn't want, like me, I'm a group texter, like all parties is involved, let's get it resolved right now. So we don't have to do no he said, she said, like we can just all hear what everybody say. How he didn't want to talk about it in front of, you know what I mean?
You know why? Because he was wrong.
He was going to do some lying. So as soon as he get in the car, his first thing out his mouth is, do you want to talk about it? No. We could have just had a full conversation.
Because he was, at the end of the day, he was so wrong in that situation. It's one thing, I looked at it at first when I watched it. I'm like, okay, is he trying to guard and protect her? Like, nah, you're not about to. I'm with her. Let's go.
He was trying to secure a place to stay.
No, at first that's what I'm like, okay, he's protecting her. But then when he was like, oh, I gotta leave, I said, oh, he was protecting his temporary residence, because that's all he cared about. Because then when she was like, listen, no, you gotta leave. I don't want to be in the back of your mind, right? I want to be in the front of your mind, not the back of your mind. He was like, oh, you're selfish. And he really started to be a manipulator. And I'm like, damn. And then I turned into Tyra, like I was rooting for you. Like, damn, you ain't get it together yet.
But when is the right time to let a guy move in? Because they had just met.
Well, dude, I don't think you realize this man just be winging it. He be looking for residence to residence. This is about his third or fourth residence now. Like,
this is America.
He just literally was moving around. I'm like, ugh. And then you see he went to her friend's house trying to stay there. And I'm like, sir, what are you doing? She had to put him out. I'm like, you have to figure this out. You cannot be sleeping with all of these women, to me, because there's still attachments and there's feelings attached. And he's like, oh, that was just nothing. You can't say it's nothing. You've been with this woman for years. Y'all lived together. Y'all cried. Y'all shared emotions, financial situations, prayers, and everything else. You can't sit here and tell me it's just sex. You're lying to yourself.
But how soon is too soon to let a guy move in with you? Would you let somebody move in with you?
See, I just feel like that's just broad. In that situation, he wasn't moving in with me. In that particular situation, he wasn't moving in with me. And then with Andy and her situation, he wasn't moving in with me too. Like, first of all, he lost your keys, sis. He already can't be trusted. So he ain't responsible. And he didn't even try to change the lock. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I just lost the keys. I'm like, you lost my keys? And then you talking shower, lay down, don't just move in. I'm like, move in? I'm like, what is... Sir, go to Home Depot. Dinner will be ready when you come back. Go to Home Depot and switch these locks up, or call. Or I think they live like an apartment or concierge. Call concierge and tell them to switch these locks. I'm like, I don't like this for y'all. I don't like this at all.
I don't like shacking up.
I don't like this at all. It gets tough because you have to have a real communication and you have to have some sort of foundation built. Like, I've lived with a guy before in a relationship.
How was it?
I didn't like it. You know why? Because we didn't have that full-on foundation. And at first it was my space and it became our space. Mm-hmm. And when it becomes our space, it's like we'd get into, say we got into an argument. Oh, well, I know. I'm like, listen, don't project. Because when I get into an argument, I think it was just like he would look for me to be mean. And I'm like, you want me to project and be mean? I'm not about to give you that. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I was like, that's your insecurities coming into place. I'm not about to play with that. I'm not going to play with those strings, even though we're in the midst of an argument. Because I feel like when people say things in an argument, at times, that's their truth speaking. Mm-hmm. That's how they really felt and they couldn't wait. So I still try to watch my tongue. And like, even though I'm mad, I'm not going to project and say the same hurtful things, because as much as you may apologize, people still hold on to that. And I know my Scorpio tongue, and I know I can cut you real deep. So in order for my blessings to come in, I have to like walk a certain path. So even with him, it was just like, he'd be like, oh, I know you don't want me here. And I'm like, you're projecting. You're projecting. He'd be like, what the fuck you? I'm like, you're projecting. I'm not even about to.
You way better than me, because I'd be like, nope. Don't pack your shit, okay?
But then I did the pack your shit when it got to a point when I found out, he was cheating, and I'm like, you're not about to cheat, and we take the clothes and go. I'm like, now you can go. Now I was like, now ain't no projecting. You can go and you can whatever, and I don't even want to be in that. I'm not doing that anymore.
See, I've never really been in a situation to where like, it was my space, and then it turned into ours. It was always like, I either moved in with him, mm-hmm. or, we got something together that he paid for. Actually, I only ever lived with one person, which is my child's father. And actually living with him, it wasn't bad. Like, you know what I mean? Because we were actually friends before, like, our relationship came. So, like, we got along really, really good. But I can say that since he was the one that was, like, taking care of all the bills and stuff, like, he just felt like, shit, like, I come and go as I please. And even though he was paying all the bills, I still packed up all his shit and was like, get out. He was like, how you putting me out my house? Sir, either you want to take these boxes somewhere, because you for a damn sure don't want me to take these boxes somewhere. But then I was just like, you know, even though the experience wasn't bad, and I actually, like, I just said I didn't like it, like I had a bad experience. It really wasn't a bad experience because we really did get along. I think I just want to wait until I get married to, like, be that invested, because the problem wasn't us living together. It's just like when we broke up, I really felt like I've been divorced before. Like, I felt like, because, like, we had the child, we had the home. When we broke up, we had to separate and divide assets.
Yeah.
It was just, it was
a lot.
It was draining.
It's a lot.
And then, like, on the season finale, like, where I can, like, when Sabrina kind of, like, hooked up with somebody on her break. How do you feel about breaks? And, like, is a break something real? Like, is it something real, or, like...
See, this is the thing. Sabrina's situation, that was too fast. She was sad. Sabrina was sad. She could have just went to bed. You could have just had some ice cream and went to bed.
She wanted something. She wanted something on the side.
No, she loved her man, and they
were on a break. They were broken up. She was single.
No. Listen, she loved her man. They both were being stubborn. They didn't want to call each other.
They were broken up. It's a break. They're on a break.
They both were being stubborn. Y'all tell us what y'all think. Like, literally, I felt like they were being stubborn. They could call it a break all they want. They were being stubborn.
It's called a break.
They wanted to be together, and then.
So you believe in breaks?
No. I believe in breaks.
Believe that you're not supposed to have sex with other people during a break?
On a break, if you're taking a break, you do as you please, I do as I please.
Okay,
but this particular situation, if we talking about Sabrina's, I don't feel like that was a break. Because she knew what she was doing was wrong, because you know why? She was looking for a cosign when she called her friend.
Well, I think everybody on a break feels a certain type of guilt and certain type of wrongness if you're going to go sleep with somebody else, because, I mean, I think breaks are pointless, and I think they're dumb. Either we're together or we're not, because a lot of times the whole illusion of a break is like, don't cheat. It's like, how the fuck is cheating even an option if we not together?
Well, that's where the transparent conversation, a lot of these things.
See, I'm a J-Lo kind of girl. If it's over with, move on. Like, because I can say this.
Nah, that's not even a J-Lo. That's more of a Lori. Shout out to her kind of situation. We breaking up? Okay, I'll be over here. But this is where communication come into play, because sometimes people take breaks because, listen, it's not that I don't want to be with you. I need to focus on what this is right now. I can't give you the attention. They have a conversation. Okay, if I'm going to take this break, I just want to focus on school or work or this project.
But then I don't get to have no sex. I don't get sex because, like, you know what I mean? Like, because women can have sex that's not, like, attached to a relationship. So just because I want to focus on work and this, I can't have an orgasm?
I mean, particularly...
That's bullshit.
I'll still have an orgasm. I got toys for that.
I want something warm.
They have warm toys. I must hook you up on Amazon. I'm gonna hook you up. Oh, you want the real thing?
Yeah. Why?
I got toys that feel like the real thing.
Yeah. If we gonna walk like a duck and talk like a duck, fucking bring me a duck.
All right, Mrs. Scrooge.
Girl, I guess.
But to me, it's just like breaks get, that's where just those technicalities and things come in, where you gotta ask, like, you gotta be sure this is what you want.
My last boyfriend, we did a break. It was the most dumbest shit I was ever a part of in my whole entire life.
What was your break about?
About just like regrouping, seeing if we really wanted to be together, focusing on us, and that.
Okay, see that? You can go, to me, that right there is, you go be free, you be free, we just start talking again. I'm gonna go move around, we figure it out.
Yeah, but it was like...
We're not dating no more. To me, we're not dating anymore.
It should have just been a break up.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. We're not dating anymore.
No, but see, a break, we were still going out on dates every single week. Like we had...
Y'all dating then?
It was dumb.
Think you don't know the definition of these things. What was y'all still dating?
Well, a break doesn't exist to me. Either we go together or we don't.
Okay, so you got different definitions from some of these topics.
Either you're together or you're not. Breaks don't exist.
But how about when it comes to marriage? Because it's marriage, and then people be having separations, and then they come back. What do you think about those?
I mean, is it a legal separation? If it's a legal separation, then you're broken up and you can go date other people because it's legally separated. Mm-hmm. If it's not legally separated, I guarantee you one person is separated and the other person think that it's just a rough edge. And so, like, I think, like, because I know, like, my lawyer, his parents, they actually got a divorce and they got back married. Mm-hmm. Even my manager, Erin, her parents got a divorce and got back married, like remarried, like a whole another wedding, and got remarried. So I do think, like, sometimes, like, space, I won't even call it a break, because I think a break is just an illusion. I think that is an illusion that guys tell girls to keep her from dating and having sex with other people while he out here being...
You just let her simmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like creating, like, I tell this to all guys that I date. I hate gray areas. Like, you're not going to stick me in, like, this, like, gray area of, like, oh, like, you know what I mean? We're not together, but I don't think you should be having sex with other people. Well, then we need to be together. Right? So, like, either we are together and I'm not entertaining anybody else, or we're not together and I do as I fucking please.
So, let me see. My parents have been separated, but not legally. They just said they're separated for about 15 years now. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what that means. That right there is a little bit tricky, and I, like, try to talk to them about it. Where, they did get married. My dad, I'm about to tell his business.
Hi, Dad.
He actually cheated with my mom's friend, who was a neighbor. It's giving telenovela up here, but he cheated with a neighbor who was also my mom's friend, and that's what caused their separation. Mm-hmm. And they haven't gotten back together, but they're not divorced. I don't know if that's like a West Indian or a Haitian thing where they don't, but
maybe they just don't feel like going through the whole legal process.
I was telling my mom I think she should, because, she has her own house. He has his own house. They live in different states. My brother now from that relationship is like 17, 18 now or something. So, I mean, I think it's necessary. He had a girlfriend for years and she wanted to get married and he couldn't. So she broke up with him. And I'm like...
Because he's already married.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for her. And I'm like, at this point... You guys might as well get a divorce. And it was like, no, we're separated. I'm like, do you even get what that means? I was like, you know what? Let me stay out of grown folks' business or out of my parents' business, because I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Who do you identify the most with on the show? Who are you?
Is it Danny?
Yeah.
I love Danny because
she a messy one.
She's not even messy. She don't take nothing serious. She just add a little commentary like on serious situations, and that's it. I love her and her man. They so cute together. But she's just so funny. She's my favorite character. Most people be like, "Oh, I thought you loved Karen." I'm like, I love Danny.
I love Sabrina.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Well, one, she's the one that's still like navigating through life and kind of like, you know, she kind of like goes with the wind sometimes. And like, she just never really knows. She's like wavering in the wind. And then like, you know what I mean? And then how, like, remember when they was in the grocery store and she didn't really just know what to do. So she go tell him, bye. He was like, bye, Sabrina.
She like, I'm gonna just be neutral. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. I love me some Danny because it'll be a serious, tense situation, and she's just gonna add a little comedy relief.
So, question, right? So you see how she was sleeping with her ex, right? And she was kind of like, she knew all his flaws, so she knew he wasn't shit. She knew, like, you know what I mean, what he's capable of, all his flaws, but she was still like sleeping with her and like romanticizing about the relationship. Do you backtrack? Like, are you a backtracker? Like, do you like, because I have some friends that like are always like go back and redate the same like guys for years and years and years and years and years. Like, they always like have just an issue with like cutting ties. So like, how do you feel about dating an ex?
You already know. I have 2 exes that I will, like, we have good rapport. I don't know. It's like, I don't let them go. All my other exes, I'm like, it's quiet. It's dead for y'all. But 2 of them, it's just, I will, if they call me, I get up and I go. It's something in there where it's a different situations. It's different feelings, it's different attachments, different involvement, because our circumstances, I understand, aren't the best. And I take into consideration, like, they're in a intricate place, I'm in an intricate place, we can't make it work, we have appreciation and affinity of love for one another. And I just be like getting up, but at the same time, you know, I still have to remember and remind myself, I don't want to be open, free, and accessible to this person who's just like, oh, I want to call Karen on a Tuesday, but I could call Michelle on a Wednesday. You know, I'm not just another bitch in their black book. We just have this like high regard rapport for one another at times where we even hang. It's not a sexual thing.
I do not backslide. Like, I'm just really not into backsliding. Like, we could be friends. Like, I'm friends with like almost all of my exes, like real friends. Like, what's up, blah, blah, blah. But to like date them again, I just like, I want to watch a new movie. Like, I want, because I be like, I know how this ends. I know what it's given. I got the T-shirt. I can actually executive produce.
You like, I know how this story is gonna go. I read the script. I played the role.
I want something different. I want a new storyline.
The interesting part is just like with a few of my exes, they always give you the story. I wasn't ready in the relationship. I'm ready now. Blah blah blah.
Go apply that towards somebody else.
I want you to have that fulfillment elsewhere, and I'm okay with that. But with these 2, it's a different accord where it's just like, it wasn't, I think because we didn't end it off on negativity or no one cheated, or it wasn't like one of those things where it was just more like timing and just where we were, where I'm okay with it.
Well, no, I don't think there's nothing wrong. Like, my one friend, I have a friend, she always like, you know what I mean? She just is more comfortable. She was just like, you know, like, all men are, you know, they all do this. She think they all cheat. So
I don't think all men cheat.
Me neither. But you know, she like, you know, I'm comfortable with them, which I understand. But I be like, I want a new thrill. Like,
I feel her on the comfortability where it's just like with these 2 particular persons, like, yeah, where people know who my flaws, what I like, what we're gonna sit and watch and things like that. Where I'll say, like you mentioned, it's a great friendship dynamic because it's not even sex. It's just us. Like, somebody who already knows me, and you know, like, for people who may not know, I'm very like introverted and quiet, and people may say I have a wall, but I tell people no. It may be a wall, but the wall has a door. So I allow people to come in. I am very guarded. I allow people to come in, and these are people who know me, who know my flaws, who understand how I am and what I may be going through and things like that, and are okay with it. So it's just like I have that affinity for them. But this season, girl, the show, girl.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. If you are watching, one, I want you guys in our comments to tell us who is your favorite character. Yeah. Who do you identify with?
Who do you identify with on the show? I'm a Danny.
I'm a Sabrina.
You're a Sabrina.
I like Danny too. Danny crazy as hell. And she love her man.
She love her man and she love her friends because she stick by them. He was like, I don't have nowhere to go. He was like, well,
it won't be here.
She was like, I guess you're hopeless and homeless. And she put him out. I was even feeling bad, like, damn. She was like, yeah, you gotta go. I don't care. But Sisters comes on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
On BET.
Yep, on BET. And I'm excited for this season because it's like my guilty like telenovela pleasure.
And it's during the summer. So, like all my other shows are done until September. So like this gives me something to look forward to on Wednesday. So I'm super excited.
And it's nice that you see like, because we haven't had this in like a while since, we had Girlfriends, Living Single, where you see all the characters are Black women, but they're different Black women. And it's like they all have their all walks of life, different careers and stuff like that. So it feels good to see that on TV.
It's like a healthy vibe, combination.
Yeah. So it feels good to find people you can identify with, even if you can't, but just seeing, just girlfriends on TV, seeing the highs and lows, seeing them all make it, how they come out of situations, the love, the losses, the hope, the mess, and the antics through it. So
it's like them navigating through life. And everybody can like relate to some sort of
bullshit, as we talked about on the show. Because I watched, I'm like, man, you see this bullshit right here? I'm like, he lost the keys. That's my pet peeve. The keys, like, and you still came here? You didn't spin the block and spend another hour looking for the keys?
No.
Apple just put out a thing to find keys that cost like $40. You didn't hit Apple or Amazon to get them real quick? I'm already getting annoyed talking about it again. We see y'all next week.
Girl, I guess.